Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome to the second series of the day here at the ASUS ROG DreamLeague Season 3. It's Vega Squadron up against the side of Alliance. I'm ODPixel and as always I'm joined here by Draskell and well, the draft is well underway so let's get yourselves into it as well. So we can give you a bit of a lowdown on what's gone on so far. Andy, what are we seeing?
Well, you're playing against Alliance, so you ban Furion and you ban Lone Druid in the first two because you're not stupid. And Vega, obviously, they get their hands on the first pick, Beastmaster. And looking at Alliance's bans, they took out Wisp and Undying both. That means they get their hands on a Chen pick and a Gyro immediately after. And seeing Beastmaster and Queen together means you're probably going to see the Beastmaster in more of an offlane capacity. If anything, might see the Queen 1v1 mid, or maybe Vega are looking to put together some kind of aggressive lane after seeing the Chen out. But against the Gyro, it is still kind of scary. The hero is very good at fighting in the early game and does a tremendous amount of damage. So Alliance definitely looking to get the lane advantage here, though. They ban out the Drow, something that partners very well, I would say, with Queen. Also can be aggressive against Gyro because of the range difference. Like we saw in the previous match, the Luna pick was like, it was okay in lane, but not great because it was really hard to farm against the lane that it was up against. And that's kind of the same issue that Gyro suffers whenever you're going aggro, unless you have the potential to isolate one hero and kill it with just Rocket Barrage. So if Vega look to go aggressive, they're going to have to make that choice very soon.
Okay, indeed, and well, with the fourth ban now coming up from the side of Alliance, talking about the potential of Vega wanting to go aggressive. Who else? They're going to ban out the Shaker. Obviously here, very good at stopping the push, and very nice against just stopping the aggression of a Chen army invading your lane.
Yeah, they're trying to get rid of some of the deep push. Like between Queen and Beastmaster already, you have good vision control. You're going to be able to look for picks a lot here, and Alliance going with one of the standard Gyrocopter supports, just picking up the Rubik. Really good spells to steal. I think, I don't remember who we were interviewing at the ASUS ROG DreamLeague, but one of the interviewees who won one of the matches said that Beastmaster, you can steal anything from him aside from axes, and it's going to be a good spell. So you can steal Roar, and you can steal the Hawk, and both of them are insanely useful. And even axes isn't bad. It's just like the worst spell to take because Hawk Vision is still great. Stealing Roar is amazing. You got Queen to steal from. Now you have a Death Ward that you can steal and Cask on top of that.
It's a nice game for Rubik.
It's a really, really nice game for Rubik. So definitely looking forward to seeing what Magicka can do here, as I think we're going to be seeing Ake's Chen.
Yeah.
And Vega still can go aggressive, given the fact that they now have a Witch Doctor. Like that's the start of a lane that could be an aggro lane. And Witch Doctor is obviously great against Chen because the cast stun's great for 5 seconds. It's very good.
Yeah, very good indeed. And a lot of the times when we see Chen picked up, we do for that reason see Witch Doctor banned out. So Alliance may be a little bit annoyed that Witch Doctor has got through the draft, but we'll see what they're going to be able to do up against it in retaliation. So of course, still ultimately looking for Pycat and Bulldog's heroes for the side of Alliance. Now, is there anyone that's got through that you kind of feel that would be kind of nice in this draft?
Pycat really likes his Viper, but I don't know what he would build in this game because the Chen is definitely going to be going mech, like first item. Maybe he could just go straight Aghanims if he wants to just go like Treads, Aquila, Ags. It's really good against Queen or Beastmaster. Both matchups he wins really hard, and if the enemy team is looking to go aggressive, I think having a hero who wins his 1v1 pretty handedly is great because most of the supports are going to be, you know, stuck to that one lane, and there we go.
There we go. Bang on. They're going to go for the Viper, which indeed is almost certainly going to be for Pycat in that mid lane role. And I mean, as you were saying, regardless of whether they put the Queen of Pain or Beastmaster in the mid lane, it should be a favorable lane for Pycat.
Yeah, definitely. And if Vega decide to go aggressive, it just means that the Chen is going to have to put most of his time towards bottom, which is fine. Because 1 or 2 good Chen creeps, like just a Tornado or something like that, randomly can give a lot of relief to the bottom lane. And if Vega decide they want to dodge now, after seeing the Viper pick, and just say, maybe we want to try to rotate on the Viper instead, middle lane. Because if you put Queen against it, and you have like a dagger, and you blink forward, and you have 2 roaming supports, you can kill the Viper. It's definitely possible. It's just not the easiest thing in the world. And you're definitely going to want to make... Oh, that's aggressive. Never mind. They picked AA, so they do want to fight. It could just be also in reaction to the Chen, but it's less that, I think, when you already have Witch Doctor, as it is just having the potential to have 3 ranged heroes with AA Chilling Touch. We saw the potential earlier when basically Unknown played it. They just demolished the tri-lane of VP.
Yeah.
So I'm looking to see more of the same here from Vega.
I mean, you know, going back to obviously what we saw from the side of BU earlier, throwing in a Weaver here wouldn't be too bad, would it?
Weaver's okay against Alliance's draft just because he's so hard to really lock down. The problem is it's another really good hero to steal spells from.
Yes.
So Rubik can get Shikuchi. I mean, even getting, like, Swarm is probably the worst thing to steal. Getting Time Lapse is okay. Getting Shikuchi is great. So yeah, it would give him like a plethora of really nice things to steal. And I think likely if Vega go for the Weaver, which it's entirely possible, like it is actually really quite good against what Alliance have. Yeah, they're going to take out Clock. I was going to say that would be a nice hero for Bulldog to get. He could go for Centaur still. I think Centaur is really nice for their lineup because they need some way of like counter-engaging or like forcing the fight really hard. Because right now, they're really looking more like a siege lineup than anything else. And that usually means that you kind of lack initiation and you kind of lack a way of running. Like all these heroes are slow. Like Viper is slow, Rubik is slow, Gyro is actually fast, but Chen is also slow. So if you ever get out of position with the chase potential of like Beastmaster with Queen and AA Blast, like you're going to get punished really, really hard for any mistake that you make.
And I mean, just looking at the heroes that obviously Alliance have run in the past in terms of offlane, Centaur is one that they have done, and arguably pretty much one of the only ones that Bulldog's actually played that's actually still in the pool.
Yeah,
recently.
I guess they could go something like... No, I don't know if Bounty is that good here. Like typically when you have Bounty, you have another hero, like maybe the mid player who can help impact the game and you just go around looking for track kills, but it's going to be an aggro tri-lane coming out here from Vega. And even sometimes I would say Puck would be really nice. But I don't think Bulldog plays Puck, so...
I mean, the interesting thing to mention, obviously with that final ban from Alliance, banning out the Lifestealer, I mean, with that kind of ban, I guess they're not thinking that Vega are going to run it aggressive, because would Vega run an aggressive tri-lane with a Lifestealer?
Yeah, you still can, for sure.
Yeah?
The thing is, Gyrocopter is not really that long a range, and you have a Rubik support end lane, so even as a melee farming hero, you would definitely be able to walk up, and since Gyro is so short range, you can open wounds from about the time that he goes to last hit. And if you get open wounds and you have Rage, the Chilling Touch on top of that, you hit pretty fast. Like, yeah, you deal the damage to kill. And you can't lift, obviously, if the Lifestealer is raged out. So definitely a good ban on that part. And they're going to go with the Spirit Breaker, a hero who is fantastic against the kind of squishy supports that Vega has right now between the AA and the Witch Doctor. It can even be very frustrating for Queen if no one is there to really stop the initiation. And I think they picked Spirit Breaker solely as a hero to absorb the Beastmaster Roar. Like, go in, get roared intentionally, so everyone else on Alliance can just sit there and do the work that they need to do. It's just nice having that hero on your team that demands attention.
I mean, position 1 potentials for the side of Vega. I mean, they've got an AA. What about throwing something in like an Ursa?
Ursa's really good against Gyro, and actually pretty good against Viper as well. It's just a matter of, like, how do you want to play the game? Like, I think Weaver is actually a really good all-around pick, even though there's a lot of spells to steal for the Rubik, just because of the fact that there's only one hero on Alliance that can lock him down, and Vega's lanes are still very good. Like, even if Viper wins middle, and the bottom lane is sacrifice and they put the Beastmaster down there, it means you can free farm the Weaver for the good majority of the early game, and your team can fight non-stop. Like, you have Hawk Vision, you have Queen, you have Witch Doctor AA, 2 fantastic supports. There's no reason why they can't just pick another hero who can fight. And Weaver also transitions great into late game. Like, Viper will never be able to kill a Weaver. Like, ever. Oh, they're going to go PL. Okay.
It's going to be the
so
PL.
I think they'll dodge now, actually.
You don't... What, you think the side of Vega will alternate somewhere else, or...?
I think Vega will safe lane this now.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, you can go aggro with the PL. It just doesn't seem... It doesn't seem as good, because when you go for a kill with the PL, you don't have that magic immunity from the rage of a Lifestealer, you know? Like, the Rubik can just lift the PL and throw him back into the 2 supports, and it's not really, like, as easy of a kill to get, I think, as it would be with the Lifestealer, but they could still do it. I just think it's less likely now.
Okay, well, we'll just wait for both sides to pick up their final heroes, but... I mean, looking at the both drafts so far, I mean... In terms of play style and kind of strategies, is it Alliance that we're going to expect to see a lot more aggression from earlier, or do you feel it's Vega that are going to try and get the ball rolling from the start?
If Vega dodge, I think they'll be the ones rotating supports, but it looks like they're at the very least they're going to be doing some warding together. I think they're all going to be heading down to that lane, see what they can try to accomplish with that. But if it's a dodge, it's going to be up to what Ake can do on a Chen with a Rubik. So Magicka and Ake together are going to be the main influence in the early game, as you would normally expect from a team with a Chen, right? Like, the Chen's supposed to have some kind of influence. Like, level 3, you go for a gank or something similar to that. But for Vega, it is definitely going to be the supports. of Solo and Sima. So here we go.
Okay, indeed. Here we go. This is the first game of the second series of the day between Alliance and Vega here in the league play of the ASUS ROG DreamLeague Season 3 with myself, ODPixel and Draskell. And let's get ourselves accustomed with the teams and what they're playing. On the side of Vega, we're going to have 9 Pasha. He's going to be on his PL. Mag's going to be on that Beastmaster. You're going to have Solo on the AA support. Sima the Slayer on the Witch Doctor. And finally, no one on that mid lane Quap. Draskell, what are we seeing from Alliance?
All right, well, from the side of Alliance here, Ake on his signature Chen. Next to him is going to be Loda, handling the gyrocopter. Towards middle lane, we're going to have first Rubik, being played by Magicka. Pycat is going to be handling the Viper, and then finally Bulldog is going to be playing the Sphere Breaker.
Okay, indeed, and well, we're going to see a little bit of a wraparound here, and maybe someone getting caught out here in the jungle. There's going to be Loda finding Sima the Slayer here with a Rocket Barrage, bringing him low, but they're not going to have the control to hold him in place. A fair bit of damage traded between the sides there, and Sima is going to have to pop the sound.
They're going to go aggro too.
Okay, so I mean, obviously from the draft, you weren't sounding a huge fan of running aggro with the PL.
It's
What
still
do you
okay.
think yeah.
Like the fact of the matter is, if you get Phantom Rush and you get Lance and you get Chilling Touch, you can focus the target really hard, you know. And if they go for Rubik, for example, and he gets stunned, he might just die in a cask stun. That's how much damage that combo would do to him. So there is always potential for that. And they could also be doing it for the sole purpose of trying to stop Ake's movement. Like, sure, if they're going to be rotating mid, at least they're getting something out of it. They're saying that the bottom lane gyrocopter is not going to farm. RPL will farm instead. So even if Ake ganks mid successfully, which against a queen is pretty low chance, right? Like, he has to basically miss a blink in order for that to happen. But here we go.
The cask and the lance here onto Lodo, and with the right clicks from Solo and Sima with the Chilling Touch, doing a fair bit. Rubik there, Magicka with the telekinesis, holding them back. But
yeah,
all in all, they got to be careful because that Chilling Touch, that hurts from the AA and the Witch Doctor's ranged attacks.
Yeah, it definitely does. So Ake is going to be relied upon here pretty heavily to either relieve the pressure from bottom lane or try to gank somewhere else. But given the 1v1 matchups, I think it's pretty unlikely that they're going to be able to gank either mid or top. And I think most of his time is going to be spent either farming, or he's going to have to hope for like a decent smoke gank and some good creep spawns to try to kill bottom.
Indeed, of course, Pasha on that PL. Also one of those heroes that's not too easy to catch out once he's got that point into the old doppelganger. But I mean, in terms of the composition that Alliance have got, do you feel like they've got the capability to deal with the PL in the latter portions of the game? Or is there going to be a point where PL would become too big for Alliance to stop?
I definitely think that PL has some critical mass here. Like, if he gets to 4 or 5 items, no matter how farmed your gyro is, you may be able to take a team fight, but really all that needs to happen is the gyro gets roared and then he falls over. Like, late game PL is an absolute monster against what Alliance have put together here. There's not really a whole lot of real big AoE. It's kind of like flat cannon and call down are your only real 2 methods. Now, thankfully, they have a hero like Spirit Breaker who has a unique way of being able to lock somebody down for an extended period of time. So like charge into ulti, you get 1 good RNG bash, you might be able to hold him in place long enough to kill him, just like hard focus fire. But even that is difficult. And Vega don't have too many peels, but a well-placed roar and a cast can kind of stop any momentum that you have.
Indeed, and we see in mid lane, no one just getting harassed right back here from Pycat. But nevertheless, the farm in the mid lane is still fairly even, 9 for 3 against the 7 for 4. Pycat just starting to now break ahead. And no one, he's got to be very, very careful how close he comes here to the old cat, because Pycat, level 4 on the Viper now. The point into the poison attack and in the old nether toxin. It's not a pretty lane for the co-op.
Definitely not. And you can never even skill dagger in this lane. Like, you can skill it, but you're very seldom going to want to actually use it, as we see here, the corrosive skin doing quite a bit of damage, and the courier almost even getting mismicroed into Pycat. But Ake definitely doing a little bit of work here, at least in the sense of Vega know he's around, so they're playing less aggressive, which means that Loda can continue his farm. And he is sitting 1 CS higher right now than the PL, which is good. Like, that's where you want to be. You do not want to be falling behind a PL and overall farm, even if your hero does contribute a bit more damage during this early game. And I think Alliance will be satisfied with his laning phase. It's just going to be once they start grouping up. That's going to be when Alliance really want to start looking at taking their tier 1s. And then it's going to be, can Vega get their cores what they need to continue fighting? And then you're going to have the AA transition into mid game where he has Ice Blast for deep push. It's going to be interesting.
I mean, on the top lane, the solo situation between Mag and, of course, Admiral Bulldog. Mag very much coming out on top, but at the same time, Bulldog's still managing to find something from this offlane.
Yeah, Beastmaster's amazing in 1v1s. Like, it is so hard to deal with. And again, he is in a safe lane, so it's a bit less stressful for him to be in this situation. And I don't even think... Oh, Bulldog did buy a Stout Shield after the fact, so yeah, he realizes that this lane is going to be a bit of a pain. And bottom Loda just trying to do some harass with the flat cannon. Just doing the typical gyro things. I don't think much is really going to kick off in terms of aggression until, again, the cores are moving. Like, that's the one big difference between Vega's lineup, I think, and Alliance's, is that the Spirit Breaker for... he can pretty much go whenever he wants.
Oh, no one blinks in, wants to find the first blood, and he will get it.
Wow.
It pays off. The corrosive skin not enough to put no one off jumping in, but bottom lane, we're going to see Vega trying to find a kill return, and they will find out to Magica, but Loda with the Rocket Barrage, bringing Seema low. They will find the kill there with Ake committing the right clicks, but they might lose Loda. They will lose Loda. So across the map, it ends up being a 3-for-1 trade, favoring the side of Vega.
I really was not expecting Pycat to die in a 1v1 versus a Queen. Like, that is pretty crazy, actually, that the Queen is not only like tied in CS. Oh, double stun here on the Solo. Bottom lane. Solo kill maybe for Ake.
Oh, Ake. Oh, the stick. He's going to be okay. The casks as well, holding the Centaurs in place as they try to retreat. But, oh, that's why you buy a stick, boys and girls.
Yeah, definitely value there from the stick, keeping him alive. But yeah, Alliance, not the laning phase they were looking for, exactly. Taking a teamfight bottom where they lose their core and they only trade it for a support kill. And then middle lane, Viper dying 1v1 against Queen? That's just crazy talk.
Indeed, but of course it's still very early days, but Vega indeed have the slight edge. In terms of farming though, we look at the CS and we do see obviously in this bottom lane, of course, Gyro having a... Well, he was having a better time, but PL's actually broken forward. Mid lane is going to be a charge onto no one, but there is actually Seema the Slayer here on the Witch Doctor. Throws out the Caster Maledict, and Bulldog's going to have to back out. TP in from Solo as well. Viper's trying to get thrown down onto Seema. Pycat's trying to commit here for the Witch Doctor kill, but no one. And Solo trying to fend Pyke out. There's going to be telekinesis into the Nether Strike there from Bulldog. He finds the kill. They might even find Solo as well. Solo's retreating through. Pycat eating his way through the trees, trying to chase this one down. One more right click should tick him over, and it will do. Solo goes down as well here. There'll be a TP in, but there's going to be Centaurs there with available Who Stomps if Mag decides to chase. He's going to head to the north looking for that Viper, but Viper is out of there. And, well, three kills picked up there for the side of Alliance.
That Fable was pretty huge. It bounced like to everyone and got Magic double kill. And then the nice ulti from River into high ground from Spirit Breaker, just making sure that they got everything out of that. And playing it super greedy as well. Like getting that 2 kills and then even diving almost to tier 2 to make sure that they got the AA as well. Alliance definitely wanting to control this early game. And they're doing a pretty good job of it so far. They do leave Pasha alone in the bottom lane just to, you know, I mean, there's always a sacrifice that you're going to make when you commit that many heroes to an engagement, but I think they'll be okay with that for now.
And, I mean, it definitely kind of helps as well, obviously, Pycat recover from the fact that he gave away that very early kill against the Quap in the mid lane, and he's going to be able to regain a bit of control here. He's still lacking a little bit in terms of CS, but all in all, the lane very much even. There's going to be a charge onto Mag. TP in as well, coming in from Magica on the Rubik, but he's not going to quite be able to find to close the gap there to get the telekinesis. And, well, we're going to see, of course, Beastmaster get away. Mid lane, no one on Pycat, just continuing
bottom
to trade hits.
Well.
And bottom lane, indeed, they're going in on Loda, and Pasha, he's got a Spirit Lance in a second, but he doesn't want to commit for this one. It's a little bit too far for him to dive, and Loda will be able to salve up.
I'm surprised they didn't actually go a bit harder there because they saw, or well, maybe they didn't assume that the TP top was from Rubik. Like maybe they thought he walked there, but there was a Hawk in position. Not sure if it was there in time. Maybe if they had calculated that, they could have gone a little bit like crazy, maybe gone for a dive, try to kill that way. But still haven't seen much movement from Mag. He's kind of just farming up his book, doing his own thing.
There's going to be a charge onto no one, but no one. And backs himself up, and that's going to be enough for Bulldog to hold himself back for the time being and not look to commit to that one. Loda kind of been left on his own here now at the bottom, obviously with Mad making these rotations. So having a little bit of a harder time, but still doing very well in the CS department. 38 for 1 against the PL's 40 for 8.
Everyone's kind of just doing their farm thing right now. More rotations than I thought we would see. It's such an early stage in the game, but with heroes now getting their ultimates up, like Queen of Pain being level 8, the Beastmaster also being level 8, almost having book 1 available, I think the Vega are going to be the ones who... They can play aggressive if they want, but they can also play passive. Like if they give Solo some free lane and he gets to level 6 and he gets his Ice Blast up and you have Beastmaster Roar to follow that, like just that with like a book 1 is able to kill almost anyone on the side of Alliance if Ake doesn't have Hand of God available. And even if he does, if the Ice Blast hits, it's not even going to matter. So I feel like their potential for picking is great. PL scales into the late game. I think Alliance might have a tiny bit more pressure on them to make something happen on the map, at least in the next like 10, 15 minutes, give or take.
Well, it looks like they might be doing just that at the moment on the bottom lane with Ake positioning himself in the trees here with the Satire and the Troll Summoner. Yeah, here's the focus. There's going to be the Telekinesis and Rocket Barrage. He's going to have the Doppelganger cooldown. Very nicely placed, and it's going to catch all three here. Pasha getting low, trying to pull himself through, but it's not going to be enough as Ake tests his faith. Will bring him down. No one's blinked in, trying to find Loda. The Maledict is on him. Might be enough to bring him down. There's going to be a charge from Bulldog onto no one, and the Maledict was enough to bring down Loda. No one blinked forward. He's able to find the last right click onto Ake. The charge is still there from Bulldog. He has the Nether Strike as well. Magicka holding no one back with the Telekinesis. He's going to get low. He might be dead before Bulldog turns up, and that's actually going to work out because now Bulldog's being redirected towards Solo. There will be the paralyzing cast there, stopping the charge. He looked for the Nether Strike, but the bounces between himself and Mad will stop him from going any further. So even though Vega lose the Quap, they're able to find Loda, and they're able to find Ake.
A bit of a misplay there from Magicka, actually, walking forward. Heady, the cast only bounced once. They would have been able to get another kill. Loda, TPing in there. No roar available on the Beastmaster, and they're going to go for the tower kill here. Nice deny.
We'll see 9 Passion go forward with a Spirit Lance Doppelganger, but no, the Rocket Barrage will clear out the illusions and will back off. And yeah, indeed, I mean, yeah, Beastmaster had that ult. Well, Loda could have been in a tricky position, but no, of course, I'm sure Loda keeping a note of the cooldowns. He knew it was safe. He knew it was safe.
Yeah, it's fine. Calculated. That's whatever you say when something cool happens in a pro game.
Well, mid lane, the Viper, has the treads, has the Aquila. Is this a game where what do you go for if you're not going for the mech that we're going to expect Ake to build?
I think you just go Aghanims.
Straight up Ags.
Yeah. It's just too good to not get. Like, it lowers the cooldown of your ulti so much, especially if you get it before 16. Like, Viper cooldown scales 20 seconds lower every rank. But if you have Aghanims, it's 12 seconds no matter what level it is, and it increases the cast range. Like, that's the main thing, is whenever somebody, like, aggressively dives, having that Viper strike to just force them off is so nice.
Oh, we're going to see a bit of a fight kick off here. It's Nether Strike from Bulldog. He's trying to go for Seema, but it's cancelled by the cast. He will be able to follow it through, though. Bringing Seema down low. He needs a bash. He's not going to find it. It doesn't matter. Loda there with the final right click. And now Loda, Magicka, and Pycat chasing down Solo. They're going to get the slow from the Viper. They're going to have the charge as well. Magicka is able to finish off the A even before Bulldog connects with the Fate Bot. Dominating kill streak now for Magicka on the Rubik, 8 for 5. And well, with all 5 members of the side of Alliance grouping around the mid lane, looks like they're going to start to get the ball rolling down here.
Yeah, it's kind of expected. Eventually you're going to see the team with a Gyro, a Chen, and a Spirit Breaker move around, This team is not really built to go for the ultra late. It does have very good snowballing potential, though. And it's not like Vega are just taking this one on the chin. Like, the offlane tier 1 died a little bit earlier. Mag is still farming away. Pasha's pressuring top. After those heroes die, there's no real way you can contest the middle lane anymore. So the best option is really just to continue to push out the lanes and hope that Mag can get to his book and his Blink Dagger as fast as possible. Because that's going to be when Vega actually have some really good picking potential. And prior to this AA hitting level 6, it's going to be a bit harder.
Well, we're going to see Magicka very nicely nab himself the old Blink from the Quap. So he's going to be happy with that steal indeed. And, well, in the Radiant jungle at the moment, we're seeing Mag make a little bit of a rotation. Just kind of around the Aberrant Bulldog. He's not going to scout him out. They don't have a ward in this part of the jungle at the moment. So Mag's going to be okay, and he's actually got backup coming in as well, as no one on the Queen of Pain TP's in. Oh, there's an Ice Blast, there's a Roar, there's a Screamer Sonic Wave. Bulldog he's going to evaporate.
That's a hashtag got him. This is just every ulti in the game. I mean, that was 3 ultis just to kill the Spirit Breaker, and that's what happens when you're super tanky. Spirit Breaker having pretty good strength gain, and here come the Chen creeps.
Yeah, Magicka blinking forward as well here on the Rubik. Can they look to try and take the fight here? He's got himself an Invis Rune. He needs a bit more backup. He's got Viper and Ake closing in. They're going to go for Mag here. They lift him, bring him back, and they're going to be able to follow up with a Fate Bolt. They've got the trap as well. No, they haven't fully used it, but it doesn't matter. They have enough damage to bring down Mag before he gets the TP off.
That was really close. He almost got away there. Would have been very bad if he got away without losing anything after they killed off a Spirit Breaker. So 2 fairly large rotations from both teams. Vega using, I think, a little bit more than Alliance there. Like the Rubik having the stolen Blink, or, well, he had it. I guess he re-stole. Maybe he was looking for Hawks, but he ended up getting Wild Axes. Definitely not the best spell for him to have, but if he can get his hands on Blink, which should be pretty easy, given that Queen doesn't even have daggers skilled or didn't until level 10. Yeah, he should definitely be having a really nice time in this game.
I mean, all whilst this is happening, of course, we are seeing this Phantom Lancer get scarier and scarier. I mean, he's at the point now where he's obviously just able to rotate around the jungle. He's going to be going for that Vladimir's, which he's going to be having fairly shortly. Just a headdress away. And once he's got the Vlads, you've got to be very aware of what the PL's up to, because he's constantly going to be looking for farm. He's going to be in his jungle. And as much as Alliance are pressuring the lanes at the moment, I kind of feel they've got to step it up if they want to keep the momentum that they're looking for from the draft.
They want to at least get some tier 1s. Like the tier 1 safe lane and off lane should be highest priority, I feel, and maybe try to secure a Roshan, because your team fight is great. You just need to be very careful about grouping up too much for the Queen and the AA, because an Ice Blast and a well-placed Sonic Wave can just win Vega a fight. And I think that's part of the reason why Alliance are maybe not playing it as aggressively as you would expect, just because that kind of counterplay potential is there. And the one benefit that Alliance have is now they do have their mech finished, and they also know that Mag does not have his Blink Dagger, and that's one hero who can jump in and almost assuredly isolate a kill for them. But here come Vega.
Load up Pycat and Ake in the bottom lane, but there's a smoke up from Mag and Seema looking for the wrap round here. And Mag, he's just going to walk straight in. He's found Ake. He's going to throw down the roar straight away with the Death Ward as well. Ake will go down first. Bulldog turning up to the fight, looking for a Nether Strike. Mag's just going to TP out, though, but he's not going to be able to. So Bulldog with the Nether Strike, cancelling it. It's a 1-for-1 so far. It doesn't look like there's going to be any more casualties as of yet, as Vega, they back themselves up here. But again, it's a 1-for-1, but still space being created for this Phantom Lancer.
Trading the Chen for the Beastmaster, it's kind of an equal trade. Maybe the Chen is worth a little bit less, but the nice thing about how they did that is going for the Chen first is the absolute best way to ensure that the team fight potential from Alliance is lowered. And Seema going really aggressive here.
Seema's going really aggressive. They do have an Ice Blast as well to follow through, and no one is there, but the Bashes, they're coming through. Loda's turned up with the cooldown, and he's going to look to work his way into Pasha, but Pasha is able to get himself out there with the Doppelganger. They do lose Bulldog here on the Spirit Breaker, and Alliance unable to find anything in return, so the old Witch Doctor bait worked out.
Yeah, he kind of YOLO'd in, so he had a lot of faith in his teammates to back him up in that position. Still well played, though, from Vega, being able to kill Bulldog again. Looks like Alliance might want to try to counter pressure here into the tier 1 in the off lane, and I think Queen Ulti's still down for quite a while, and they also will have Roar up, but I don't think that Vega are going to defend this. I think they just let it die.
In terms of item progression for Pycat on the Viper, picks up a Yasha as his first item after the Treads and Aquila.
It's a bit better for being able to catch, and you do a lot more damage with a Yasha. Especially when your auto attack damage is more or less based on the percentage health of the enemy hero. So the more health they're missing, the harder you hit with Nether Toxin, and having bonus attack speed can give you more damage if the hero is already on low health. And with the kind of burst between like Fey Bolt and Spirit Breaker with Gyro, you can definitely burst pretty hard.
Seeing a smoke up here from the side of Alliance. They're heading into the dire jungle. There's also a charge coming through from Bulldog. Mag, he's going to be the first one to be scouted out as Loda and Magicka close around the corner. There's going to be the cast coming out that's been stolen, and the cooldown will land on both the Witch Doctor and Mag. But Witch Doctor turns around with the Death Ward onto Loda, bringing him down low. He will get sent back by Ake on the Chen. Mag with the Roar, holding Bulldog back as no one flicks in as well on the Quap. Trying to turn this one around, but they've already lost Mag. They might lose no one as well as he's getting low. Bulldog, though, he will fall, and Ake's going to go down as well to Pasha as he just begins to clean up in this fight. It's a 3-for-2 trade so far. No one's able to get himself away from the Ake chain creeps, and Pasha, he'll be able to farm those as well. So Alliance there looking for a very aggressive rotation into the dire jungle, but it really doesn't end up paying for them that one.
It looked really good at the start because they sent home the Gyrocopter while he was being ulted by the Witch Doctor, so kind of just like saving his life. And I think Loda maybe had enough mana for one more Rocket Barrage before he was totally out of gas there. But still, it was, in the end, not really the engagement that Alliance were looking for. And even though they pressure a bit, the PL lived through that engagement as well, so that's just more farm added to him.
Okay, and interesting stuff on Bulldog. He's managed to complete himself up a Midas. So,
yeah.
So Midas on the Spirit Breaker, why go for it?
I think it's because they're expecting maybe a bit of a drawn-out game. Like, the amount of pressure that they've been able to exude in the map is maybe not what they would call adequate. Like, they're not happy with it, so you go Midas to say, we're already like making the concession that the game's going to go later, so I might as well get a Midas because I know the enemy team is going to be okay with going into late game, so I'll give myself a leg up at least on farm and experience. Now, I think that choice in of itself is maybe kind of saying they didn't really have the early game that they were looking for yet. Like, it's only 18 minutes in, but they still want to be pressuring as Bulldog might get caught here.
D-Dice Blast is going to connect onto him, and well, with the punches from Mag. Yeah, there's not going to be a lot the Bulldog can do in that situation. But of course, he did manage to use his Midas before he went down, so it's the little things.
Midas, man. Midas on cooldown, value, #reserved.
Oh, the Sonic Wave there, just clipping Matchko, and it must have only just been enough damage to bring him over the edge. But bottom lane, Pycat, he could be in a lot of trouble here. Solo Mag going in, and with the slows, Pycat's going to try and turn and bring down Solo. He might actually do it and find the kill in return. Oh, the poison damage is not going to be enough. 58 HP. AA does get out, and again, it just kind of seems this game that Vega seem to be understanding their hero limits a little bit better than Alliance.
I think their draft is actually just better than Alliance's. I was kind of contemplating the strengths and weaknesses of both, and I really do feel like Vega's, they can still fight. Their late game is better. Cooldown's going to be off the mark here. Loda just looking to try to secure the rest of his stack. I think Vega were able to steal a bit. But Vega's lineup is just more well-rounded, in my opinion. Like, they have the potential of fighting. Their supports are both great in teamfight contribution. Like, just having an AA Blast on top of a Beastmaster Roar, that's a kill. Like, every single time it's a kill, unless Ake is there to send the guy home. So, I mean, Solo, he's level 10 at 19 minutes. He's almost got Aghanims. Like, he's 1,200 away.
Oh.
Like, he's rich.
Oh, dear.
Like, that's a problem. How are you ever going to go high ground against Aghanim's AA when he has it at like 25 minutes in? Like, they haven't even killed the tier 1 safe lane yet. I'm really starting to think that the Alliance momentum is not nearly what it needs to be, and they're going to smoke up again here between the tier 1 and the tier 2. They're going to try to find something, and it looks like tier 1 is going to be their target here in top lane.
Indeed, it looks like, well, at the moment, Loda's the bait. He's all alone and he's hanging around, pushing up that top lane. Pycat wrapping around by the river. The only person here is the PL. Now, obviously, if they're able to catch 9 Pashes, this is going to be a very, very big pickoff. But it is the PL, and he's going to TP out instinctively straight away. And they're going to find no one.
I don't know, man. This is looking really tough for Alliance at the moment now. I don't want to completely count them out, but if Vega didn't have a PL, I would say this game would be pretty close to even. You know, like, both heroes are kind of farming. The PL is out farming the Gyro, though, which is always a concern. And there's almost Manta up on this Phantom Lancer, and he's going to be level 14 soon. 2 level advantage here, almost 3 over Loda. I don't know, this trade is not even good. Like, going tier 1 when Vega get a free Aegis, the problem with this trade is that the Aegis allows Vega to take 1 extra team fight and win it guaranteed when their team is already ahead. So the tier 1 really doesn't mean a whole lot to them. And I'm pretty sure Alliance just used one of their last smokes to try to go for that tier 1. Oh no, they still have 1 left. Okay. So that's good that they actually have a smoke, because if they didn't, they would be even more screwed than they already are. But they get the tier 1, they see that they give the Aegis to the Queen, and that's just more aggressive potential that Vega have with the utilization of their Hawk Vision, and Vega actually looking quite strong here in game 1.
Yeah, no, they really are. And I mean, just the fact this AA, I mean, with that Roshan gold as well, on the AA, how close are we to that point booster? Let's have a look on the old AA.
He's close, man.
Very close. 300, less than 350 gold away.
He's been free farming this lane the whole time. Just lets his team take Roshan.
There's going to be a smoke up now from Vega. They're going into their own jungle. Who are they going to be able to find? Bulldog is there. He's just on the edge of the night vision. They know something's up. They're going to blink forward on no one. They will find the vision onto Bulldog. There's going to be the dagger as well. They're able to prop the cast. The charge is cancelled straight away. He will get sent back, though, by Ake. On the top lane, no one trying to chase down Pycat now.
Careful.
And there you go, linking forward now with the dagger onto Pycat. Pycat's going to look to TP out, and he will get away. Ake gets away as well, and with the micro there from the Centaurs holding them back. Very nice. They're throwing down the ults and everything. They're desperately looking for Alliance, but Alliance are gone.
Nah, he just did it for the creeps. He's got Aghanims. He Gucci. He doesn't care about a 40-second cooldown right now.
True, actually, yeah.
Yeah, there was not even a tier 1 to fight around, so.
Aghanims on your AA is now complete. 22 minutes in.
God, this is so hard for Alliance. Like, even if they start winning team fights, how do they break high ground? Like, how does their team actually go high ground? Like, by this point, they should have already been threatening high ground, or at the very least had all the tier 2s dead, and they should have been the ones getting Roshan. Like, that's what their lineup wants to do. But apparently, they're just not able to quite get it together, and tier 2 for free on the side of Vega. They just get the off-lane tier 2. Mag is getting close to his Blink Dagger if he wants that. He's only 600 away. He's already got Book 3, and they're just going high ground themselves. They're like, yeah, screw this. We got DD and our Queen. We're going to get some tower damage in. There's no glyph. How hard do they want to commit to this, though, is the question.
Rubik just sending out the Spirit Lance. watch the illusion go onto Quap. But indeed, I mean, we saw Alliance just then. They had 3 heroes down the mid lane trying to look to push out themselves. But now, just with this AI Ice Blast, every time, they're just going to go back to base on some of these squishier supports. And there'll be a charge onto no one, but he will be able to TP away. And Bulldog won't be able to catch anyone out. We see Bulldog now after the Midas. By the looks of it, going straight for that BKB. And I mean, maybe then we're going to be able to see a fight where Alliance are really able to break it up. But I think, as you said, the fact that Vega have got what they've got so far on their heroes, the fact that their PL has 10.6k, coming up to 11k in terms of net worth at this point, it is very scary. They've got the Manta Star, they've got the Blade of Alacrity, and yet with the Robe of Magi, going to be looking to pick up that Diffusal. Obviously an item that we normally see picked up arguably earlier in terms of an item progression on 9Pasha, but he's just not needed to fight because the rest of the team have been doing it for him, and he's been given the comfort and flexibility of just sitting back, farming up, and Alliance have not been able to do anything to stop that.
Well, they're going to try again here. This is an Aegis team fight, though. Like, Queen is going to have 2 lives for this. This is going to be extremely hard to win.
Loda leads in first. He's going to find the cooldown onto Mag and to Solo. No one there with the Sonic Wave catching Pycat. Loda pots the BKB. There's going to be the Hand of God keeping Pycat alive. They look for the Death Ward, but they've already lost the Witch Doctor. They've lost Mag as well on the Beastmaster. They've also lost AA. Quap's gone down. Will come back here, but he's going to be lifted up straight away. And this is the fight that Alliance were looking for. Oh, no one big for their Magicka is able to secure the kill. And well, that rotation, very, very much working for the side of Alliance. They don't get the PL though, but they do find 4 kills, and that's
actually it was 5 kills because they killed Queen twice.
Yeah. I mean, that was a fantastic fight for them.
That was the best thing you could have asked for. That was brilliant play from Ake, by the way. Like, he immediately got the steal on the Necro Creep, and the AA wasn't even able to use his ulti at all. So the Spearbreaker got a charge on the AA before the Ice Blast went out, which means Chen Heal and Mech were still fully usable, as opposed to Vega initiate on you, the Ice Blast hits, suddenly your Chen Heal doesn't do anything, right? So that's already a good opening for the side of Alliance, and that's why I said having an extra smoke is very helpful when somebody gets Roshan, because the positioning can be the entire key of winning that engagement. And Mag's Roar didn't really accomplish a whole heck of a lot. Like, they still managed to kill Pycat. It was just that Ake was a tiny bit slow on his send back, and all in all, Alliance with a very, very strong fight. They're going to need more than one of those, though. That's the problem. Can they do that multiple times?
Well, if they get another good smoke up like that, I don't see any reason why they can't. If they're able to find those pickoffs, it's going to be harder once the PL does have the Diffusal, because then it's more likely that 9Pasha is going to stick around and help his teammates rather than be like, I'm out of it, guys. He
didn't have the damage output. No. That's the main problem. Like, Diffusal boosts your damage so much on PL that it's kind of surprising that most people would forego getting the item. I get why he did it. Like, he just had free farm. He's like, yeah, whatever. I'll just buy it later, you know. Like, Yasha increases my farm rate more.
This is a big pick-off if they can find Loda, and with the Death Ward, the Sonic Wave, everything being thrown down, they will find him. Magicka and Pycat retreat. They do take an Ice Blast. And, well, they did also manage to steal Raw here on Magicka, and of course with his Blink Dagger as well, there's the potential for Rubik to make something very nice happen with that ult.
Yeah, you can go Roar the Kreen, you can go for the PL. I mean, you definitely don't want to use it on a support, in my opinion. Like, not at this point. Maybe if you can get the AA, that's not too bad. Prevent the Ice Blast from going off again. Because that's one of the biggest problems they have to deal with, right? Is that if that Ice Blast hits, you just take so much damage. The Rubik lost more than half his health from just an Ice Blast. And you cannot mech, you cannot Chen Heal. In the meantime, Vega, they get the tier 2.
Yeah, we see straight away, as soon as 9Pasha has the Diffusal, he's just ready to barrel down the lanes. And Solo, maybe being a little bit ambitious on his own. Is he? He's going to throw the Ice Blast out. He's got a TP. He's got a TP. And so's Pycat. TP, boys.
Welp. Still map control going the way of Vega here. Casual ulti for farm. No big deal. I mean, he's got Ags, it's whatever. Doesn't matter. He's getting kind of close to his Hex. He needs like 1,600 more, I think, before he gets that. And the items on the side of Alliance, the only one who's really progressed that much, I guess, is the Gyro. The Viper is still like, Pycat doesn't even have 100 creep kills at 27 minutes. That's how far behind in farm they were. Now they're going to use another smoke here. They definitely need to make this one count, but the problem with this smoke is they actually don't have any vision of what's going on except for Pasha being in their woods. And catching him is still pretty difficult. Maybe if they can get the Blink Roar, then they can lead off and try to get a kill that way. If the smoke breaks, they'll know it's real. Right now, it's all illusions. Here we go.
They know which one's real, and then Bulldog, he's heading towards it. Pasha.
Oh my god, he gets a haste. Oh, nice dodge. Nice use of the doppelganger there. Yeah, and that's what can happen when you try to gank a peel. When you, I mean, they just placed that ward in the river now, and the other one, it did catch him out in the woods, but wasn't enough. He even wants to go back in, but blink disjoint here from Magicka.
16 to 16 at the moment, 28.5 minutes in. Loader on the gyro is certainly catching up with the farm on 9 Pasha. You know, there's only about 1,000 gold in it at the moment. But it's kind of still the question of whether at the same point in terms of item progression, the gyro is able to do enough against the PL.
Yeah, it's always going to be a concern. The nice thing about what Alliance have going for them now is the PL is still squishy enough to kill. And there's going to be a charge here on top. Looks like he wants to go for Mag. He resummons the Hawk. He's going to spot this out. Can he get the roar off in time?
Oh, he turns to try and look for it, but he's not going to be able to get it. There's another strike here, Magicka as well with the stolen roar. Turning it against its own owner, and they will be able to find the pick off onto Mag. No,
if he kills it, he's going to die maybe.
What the? Oh!
Oh! That damage. That was pretty clowny, actually. I don't know if he saw the Queen walking by the... No, that ward was freshly placed, so he didn't know that Queen was there when she blinked in. I was like, please, no, don't kill the Necro, don't kill the... He's dead. Oh, well.
Well, still, with the gyro, they can have very good high ground defense, and arguably this is turning out to be a pretty close game.
Yeah, I mean, it looks close on paper right now, but the longer the game goes, the bigger of an advantage Vega will have. Their team is better at controlling the map because they have Beastmaster. They have really nice ways of deep pushing and ganking just because of ALT and Blink Beastmaster, where Alliance don't have that really great initiator. Like, sure, Rubik with the Stolen Roar is okay, but you can't always expect him to have Roar. And now the Queen even has a Hex, so there's multiple methods of just starting the fight straight away and just being like instant lockdown. I will say, though, that it's kind of nice that Bulldog went Midas, because the Midas has allowed him to progress into his BKB, which is still 10 seconds.
Ice Blast onto Ake Pasha. He's not going to be able to follow through the Spirit Lance, but I mean, still, yeah, that Aghanim's Ice Blast is going to easily bring Ake down to less than 50% of his life. It's a tough life for a support against the Ag's Ice Blast.
Yeah, you pretty much have to go base every time it hits you, or at least pop mech. Like, Ake gets hit by 1, takes 500 damage, and that's with the base magic reduction as well. So maybe just think about buying a casual cloak like your Viper player did. Oh, he even went for Glimmer.
We're going to see now the side of Alliance. They're ready to try and push down the middle here. Pycat leading the way. Vega, they've got everything up. All the ults are ready and waiting. Alliance just being a little bit cold feet here. They don't want to go straight in against Vega. They want to wait until they come to them, and Loda's just going to buy himself some time, back up, continue to farm. In terms of items, he has got the BKB, and now with the S and Y complete on top of it as well. And with the drums, you know, he's fairly tanky, and he's going to be able to do a fair amount of damage output for this bit of the game.
The DD is really important here, because Vega are smoking into a double damage gyro. This could be a really big turnaround for Alliance if they manage to get the gyro some good auto attacks off, and we'll see how it goes. It's going to be scary. They got 2 gems, 1 in each team. Magicka's got the gem for Alliance, and Mag has the gem for Vega. So they're going to be doing a little bit of dewarding here, it looks like.
Also worth noticing as well is the fact that Quap does have
Roshan's back
cheap
up.
stick.
Okay, yeah. I think Roche is going to be the fight. Their AA is not there, but that doesn't really matter. He can just throw an Ice Blast.
We're going to see Loda now activate the double damage. Are they ready to go in? Okay, here on the high ground with the army. Sending the Centaurs. Pasha. He's got himself an invis route, but no one.
Magicka wasn't close enough to see him. He had the gem, but he wasn't close enough to see the PL.
Pasha coming back in. There's been an Ice Blast onto Ake. The Spirit Lance will connect as well, and that's going to bring him low. Maybe enough to pop him. Now no one going on to Loda with the Scythe with the Sonic Wave. There's a Death Wall from the high ground as well. And I'm Pasha. He's able to doppelganger himself away from border. Loda getting low here. There's going to be the cooldown trying to turn it around, but it's not enough. Loda's gone down as well as Ake. We're going to see Pycat try and take down Mag with a Fade Bolt from the high ground from Magicka. They do find Mag, but they've lost 3 heroes now as Pycat falls. Pasha's still alive, and now they just turn for Bulldog. They're going to be able to bring him down as well. It's a 4-for-1 trade here. Magicka on the high ground, Fade Bolting down. And they're not going to be able to catch out the Rubik, but still, that was not the fight that Alliance wanted. And off the back of that, they're almost certainly going to lose Roshan here to Vega as well.
Yeah, they get Roche for sure. That team fight started off in the worst way. So Ake gets hit by Ice Blast, which means he can't mech, he can't Chen heal. The PL goes on him straight away. The Queen blinks in, hexes Loda before he's able to BKB with his double damage. And then after the BKB is popped, when the hex wears out, he gets roared by Meg. So all of a sudden, your DD gyro with BKB idea is pretty much completely down the drain. Bulldog has, at this point, abandoned the fight completely. He's just like, yep, I'm out of here. We're not winning this anymore. Ake was the first one to die. Loda dies second. Pycat can't really do that much on his own. Like, having Glimmer is nice, but they had a gem on the Beastmaster anyway, so no matter what, you're still going to be getting chased down there, and not really what Alliance wanted to happen at all. They had a really good shot with the utilities they had available, but they did manage to recover the gem, though, which is nice.
And after that, with the cash influx that Vega have got, we're now seeing a Witch Doctor very close to finishing off his own Aghanim Scepter as well for the team.
Yeah, about 780 gold away. And then the dream is real for Seema. I don't know, man. Vega just seemed to be playing very well here. They know their target priority. Like, they know that the gyro was priority number 1 there. The Viper just doesn't... He doesn't have enough damage in teamfights to really be that big of a threat. Like, earlier on, maybe 10, 15 minutes ago, throwing a Viper ult on somebody almost means that they're dead 100% of the time. That's not really the case anymore. Like, he needs more backup damage on top of that. There needs to be some decent coordination and just being able to isolate a hero and kill it straight up. And it's going to get harder and harder to do that. Like, this PL, he's almost got Scotty. He's like 200 gold away, and it's only 35 minutes in. And he still has, after that, like 1 or 2 more inventory slots he can get. You assume he sells Vlad's for like another really expensive item, right? So yeah, Pasha getting a little out of control here with his Aegis on top of that. He might just upgrade Diffusal and go for a push.
I mean, we're seeing Nolan as well on the Queen of Pain having a pretty good game in terms of net worth and item pickups. Obviously on top of the side now with an Ogre Club and 1.1k. He's going to have the BKB pretty shortly. And with the BKB in these fights, that's going to be pretty huge against what Alliance have got. You know, regarding even the fact that Spirit Break, a lot of the damage is magical.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, he can still lock you down.
Yes.
I mean, that's the downside, is you're going to be standing still for a while, but having the BKB means that you can just YOLO blink, right? Because if he's using all of his abilities on you, and the Spirit Breaker, like, charges and ults a Queen, your PL can just wreak havoc in the team fights. Like, whoever he hits from now on is just going to get purged, Scotty slowed, and melted. Like, this is the point in the game where Alliance, they need to defend the base like multiple times, and I don't even know if they can defend it once. They're going to pop a glyph here, but this is all in from Alliance.
Indeed, they've got to do something here to stop Pasha. He's just going to work it with the Necro units onto the tier 3. Ice Blast is going to be sent in. Might land onto Loda and Bulldog and Pycat, in fact, as well. And now with Mag with the Roar and the Sonic Wave onto Loda. The Cypher's well bringing him down. They try to mech him up, but he's low because he's got the Ice Blast on him. Has got the Glimmer Cape to protect him. No one will go down here. They did lose Bulldog. It's a 1-for-1 trade so far, but Vega, they're just focusing the racks. 9 Pasha, he's going for the objectives. They'll be able to find the bottom melee racks. They might be able to find the range ones as well. There's going to be a buyback from Bulldog, but Vega, the damage is already done, and off that they'll be able to get themselves out. Alliance, do they want to try and fight? This is going to be a doppelganger from Pasha. Now with the diffuse onto Loda, but Loda pops the BKB. Bulldog trying to find the supports on the back lines, but Pasha is killing Loda here through the BKB. Pasha is getting Loda, and Pycat will find him, but he's got the Aegis. It's going to be around for round 2. There's your Ice Blast. It's going to catch Loda. He's going to tick out. He will go down here on the gyro. They do find the kill onto Solo, and Bulldog, he's looking for more now. He's trying to clean up with Pycat here, going onto Seema the Slayer. Ake will tick over as well as Pasha at the same time is cleaning up. There's going to be a buyback from Loda. Bulldog getting low hits. The illusions from PL, but the Glimmer Cape keeping him out of detection, and he'll be able to keep himself alive. Loda's coming back into it, but Pasha, he's still pretty much got full health here. Pycat, Loda, Magicka, they head to the high ground. Mag and Solo, they're looking to grow and continue to fight. And Pasha, well, he doppelgangers forward aggressively. He wants to go to the high ground and fight up with Pycat. Pycat's had a mana, so diffusal illusions aren't doing that much damage, but still Loda goes down. There's going to be a Roar onto Pycat. This fight's been so long, they've had a Roar for the second time. Ice Blast as well onto the face of Pycat. Pycat goes down. At the end of the day, there are 4 heroes at the moment dead on the side of Alliance. There was a dieback from your Gyrocopter. Pycat has got buyback available, but the PL's still up, and he's looking to take more of your towers and more of your axes. Now, Vega, they head for the mid lane, and I don't know what Alliance are going to be able to do to stop this now, Andy.
They diebacked on 2 heroes, actually. Bulldog and Gyrocopter both dieback. Now, they don't even defend their base, and they dieback. I'm amazed they didn't just call GG, actually, because that fight to me was just it. There is no winning now. Like, you committed everything you had, 7 heroes, and you can't defend your base against the PL push. And the PL walks away with 5,000 gold after that team fight's over. So he can either buy Butterfly, he can go back for Heart, if he just wants the added tankiness and the permanent push potential of just having illusions spawn nonstop. But either way, Vega, they've drafted a really nice lineup. They played it well. They even went aggressive in a situation where maybe the choice to go aggressive, I think, was still good because, again, it kept Ake in the area. Like, you don't want Ake roaming around the map trying to make things happen with ganks. And even a Queen can be ganked with a Chen. It's just a lot harder. And I think that just in general, Vega's lineup always had the sense of, we will reach critical mass. And if you haven't already dealt significant damage by that point, Alliance's lineup was just going to kind of fall off. So we are definitely well past that point for Alliance here in Game 1.
Yeah, I mean, 38 minutes in as well. On top of your Blink, Bots, and Necro 3, your Beastmaster's 500 gold away from an AC for the next push.
Yep. Mag absolutely farmed out of his mind on this Beastmaster, and just look at the difference in impact that he's been able to have. Like, Bulldog, in the early game, we didn't really see too many charges from him, so he's going to be going on Seema here top lane, see if he can get this kill.
No one's going to be there, though, with the Scythe. They're going to throw down the Maledict. They don't even need the Death Ward. There's going to be a BKB, but it does nothing. Yeah,
it was not the dream. I think Alliance, maybe just talking over how the game went. I mean, their Alliance, or their draft, excuse me, had a way to win the game, and it was very reliant on Ake's Chen, and it was also very reliant on deathballing and being able to get all the map control away from Vega at an early point in the game, right? Like, you use your Chen to push non-stop, you go in with your Gyro, he's great at fighting early, Spirit Breaker is great at fighting early, you have these really good, like, bully-type heroes that you can force aggression with, but Vega just met them every single step of the way.
Blink forth and no one, and the Raw onto Loda. Loda, he's wiped off the game immediately. Pycat will go down as well. GG is caught by the side of Alliance. 32-21 as the racks go down, and Vega, I mean, they did it. You know, the draft was there. You know, Alliance were never at a point where they were massively behind, but it was just the fact that even at the same level in terms of farm, Vega's lineup was always going to be scary at the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely. Their inevitability factor was way higher than Alliance's. So when you're playing that kind of draft, you kind of emphasize what they call the ease of execution. How easy is it to run your lineup? Now, Vega's lineup, I feel, was easier to run because they had no real pressure to control the game, but they also had heroes that could control the game. Like, they had Queen and Beastmaster, and Mag had, like, Book 3, Blink Dagger, and Bots at, like, 25 minutes in. And when you have that kind of gank potential, and Alliance are already on the back foot, like, even if Alliance were the ones who had map control for the first 20 to 25 minutes, which is ideally what you get with those heroes, like, that combination is what you want, they still would have had a hard time breaking high ground. You're against Witch Doctor, AA, Queen for wave clear, Beastmaster, Axes, PL. Like, breaking that base is not easy. So I would actually say at the end of the day that Vega just outdrafted them, like, flat out. I think it was easier to run, I think their late game was better, and I think even if the laning phase wasn't great for them, it was always easier for Vega to win, just based on heroes.
I mean, on that thought alone, in terms of the draft in the next, obviously the second game of this series, do Alliance need to think about taking away any of those heroes away from Vega because it suits their playstyle so well, in your opinion?
I think the Beastmaster is maybe the only thing that you want to think about banning, because people can always pull out like a pocket last pick and it's like, well, we just lost because of that. And I think the PO was kind of what solidified their draft for me, because Pacha just got insanely farmed, right? Like, even their defensive lane, they contested a bit, but they really couldn't do anything else. You know, like, the Chen couldn't rotate anywhere. Where's he gonna go? You know, it was up to Bulldog, I think, and Pycat to come bottom and try to make stuff happen, but it didn't happen in a timely fashion, and they weren't able to get much out of it. So yeah, I think maybe think about banning Beastmaster, but there's always a lot of really good heroes that go through that you can just straight up lose to.
Yeah.
That's the problem with this patch right now, is like, how do you ban out all the heroes that are so good? Like, you got Wisp, you got Beastmaster, people are banning Undying a lot, you know? Some people even ban, like, Shadow Fiend and Queen in the first two, just depends on what you want to run. So yeah, maybe Beastmaster ban, maybe not. Just depends.
Well, we'll have to see if the side of Alliance do agree with you. And, of course, we'll be back very shortly with Game 2. But first of all, from myself and Andy, we'll see you guys in a bit. We're going to send you over to some commercials and then, of course, over to our analysts. And catch you guys later for Game 2 between Alliance and Vega.